Tim, thanks for having us here at the Mccandless Bee Farm.
Oh, yeah, man.
You have a gorgeous place.
Thanks, sir.
We've really enjoyed walking around and seeing all the things that you're doing to take your life into your own hands, growing your own food, growing vegetables, your fruit trees, the chickens, the ducks. And I think what's neat is there's a lot of beekeepers where we're in tune with the full circle of life.
Right.
And what's important, what we see on the ground, we see in the trees, helps the bees, helps each other. What things that we're doing to feed our soul, feed our soil.
Right.
And I think that's an important thing to kind of keep in mind. Tell us a little bit more about Tim Mccandless and how you got to be to where we're sitting down today having this conversation.
Beekeeping honestly saved my life, and the way it did that. My parents were sideline beekeepers in the 80s, early 90s, and I kind of a rough childhood growing up, but things changed and got better as I got in my teenage years. And I helped my mom and my dad harvesting honey, doing sideline work, piddling in the bees. And I believe it was 93, 94, the Varroa come through and wiped out all our hives. And we actually got out of beekeeping. And by this time, I was old enough to go work for myself. I went and got in a job in the trades. I was a plumber, pipe fitter. I worked as a helper, worked up. I went through the apprenticeship program, worked as a union construction hand out of Local 572 in Nashville. And I got hurt building Children's Hospital. When I got hurt, I kept eating like a pipe fitter. I was, at the time, I had probably a diet very similar. But up in Ohio, do y'all have like a McDonald's next to like a 7-Eleven or anything, or a Burger King and McDonald's right there? Imagine a raccoon living behind something like that and constantly raiding the dumpster.
A junk food panda.
A junk food panda. And that was me. I got hurt and I kept eating like a pipe fitter. I trashed the garbage, the prepackaged everything. And the doctors don't know for sure exactly what my heaviest weight was. My bariatric surgeon, he said it was probably between 650 and 675 at my biggest.
Wow.
I had to, by the time they finally got scales that could weigh me, I had actually gone down one shirt size. I was getting clothes out of my closet that I had hung up like I'll never be able to wear these again. I was wearing like 68 in a pants and an 8X shirts.
Wow.
This morning I weighed 303. I got 53 more pounds to go. I'm headed to 250. I lose about 40 or 50 pounds a year. And it was all because one night I was at my biggest, and I was laying on my back, and just all the weight, from your belly, from your gut, hanging down, and it cut your air off, sleep apnea, gasping for air. I woke up just gasping for air, throwed the covers back, and rolled over on my hands and knees, and before I could ever even get my breath to breathe in, because I was breathed out and I couldn't breathe in, and I had to roll over and put my hands in, just gasp for this air. While I was laying there, I closed my eyes and I traveled back in time to this happy moment. I remembered the smell of a healthy beehive. And laying right there in that bed, I promised God if He'd give me the strength to get up and do it, not God get me up out of here and God take His weight off of me, but God, if You'll give me strength to get up and do it, I'll get up and go after it. And I've lost 375 pounds since my heaviest. And it's been a long road. I still have more weight to lose. I'd actually, some of the pictures I showed you earlier, I had a belly, I had a jelly roll that hung down to my knees. Yeah. When I had a skin removal surgery after I'd lost so much weight that it had 27 pounds of just loose skin. And I had that cut off and removed.
Of just skin.
Of just skin. 27 pounds of just skin. And Lord, give me strength to get up and lose the weight. He didn't do it for me. I battled a 15-year opioid addiction in the process of all that. You know, when you're that big, you're just looking for comfort anywhere you can. And I blew my back out at work. I had 9 herniated and ruptured discs and stuff. And they told me they'd give me a full pension, but I'm not the kind that likes to sit in the house. You know, I want to be busy doing stuff. That's why I got the garden. That's why. And I come outside and I'll work in my garden till I get to hurting so bad I'll go lay down in a chair for a minute, gather my wits, get back up, keep one more day.
Is that when you're laying in bed, you're literally, it's all that you can take to just take one more breath.
That's it.
To keep pursuing this thing called life.
Right.
You had to been in a situation or a mindset to where, what in the world am I doing? What is going on? And what kind of life am I leaving?
I call it, I had my come to Jesus meeting that night right there in that bed. You call it what you want to. Some people call it the universe. Some call it Jesus. There's all kind of names. We call it all kind of things. But I had me a come to Jesus meeting that night.
Tell me about that.
Just fed up, tired of being tired, and said, no more. Today's it. Yesterday it might have been all right, but today's a different day. I've tried to live that way ever since.
What was it in that moment that clicked to where now is the time, this is the turning point, this is the tipping point?
Probably when I realized, you know, you look around and you realize life's passing you by. I got grandkids now. And I want to be able to spend some time with them, play with them. You know, I want to do some stuff. I didn't get to do stuff with my boy. I showed you a picture of us where I went deer hunting. You can see how big I was. And he was proud of that little old deer. And I wasn't able to get up and go with him like I should have been able to. You know,
you're missing out on life.
I was missing life, laying up, flipping channels, eating bonbons or whatever, hoo-hoos, yahoos or whatever. I was eating junk food. No telling how many, probably 10, the doctor says probably I was 10 to 15,000 calories a day.
Wow.
And it was just to sustain that kind of weight. And it was depression. It's like you don't get that big for no other reason. When I had to lose weight to prove to him I could have the surgery, so I lost, I don't know, 150, 160 pounds on a pre-diet.
What was the voice in your head telling you? What is that message that's on replay up until that point to where you decide enough is enough?
Don't know how to word that. I don't know how to word that. Just to be honest with you. I went wading in this creek. Well, we went wading creek. We was in a bow fishing tournament up in Paris, Tennessee, and I was with my uncle, my brother-in-law, and I'd shot. There's seen some buffalo swimming up a creek. It's a type of fish. It's called a buffalo. It's similar to a carp. I seen it swimming up a creek, and I draw back and shot it. I was about 18 years old. I forgot to push the button on. I had a big old Zipco 808 reel on the front of it. I forgot to push the button. It snapped that line. Well, them arrows, you know, $15 a piece or something like that. So here I go bailing out in the water to get this thing, and my uncle and my brother-in-law, they head on up the creek. Well, it didn't look like it was about ankle deep water. What I didn't know was it was all mud, almost like quicksand. And I literally went into my hip pockets in mud. And the more I fought it, I lost my boots. I mean, it had me. The more I fought it, I got down in the water where all I had was one arm sticking out of the water. It was like quicksand. Best way I describe it. I gave up. They done run off and left me, and my face is right here at the water. I guess where I'm fixing to die. This is it. I made my peace with God, and I kind of laid back in that little
Wow.
creek. When I laid back, the water rushed in and floated me out of that hole I was in. When I gave up, the water floated me out of that hole I was in. I kid you not. Real similar to that. Yeah. The Lord carried me through it. That's the only thing I can say. He gave me the strength. He gave me what I asked for. I didn't ask for money. I asked, Lord, give me the chance to get up and work these bees one more time. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. A smell of a healthy beehive to get me up and get back at it.
Get you back on your feet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I wasn't going to be the wildebeest to lay down and let the lions eat me. I'm going to give them a horn for they get me.
Walk us through that from that point. You almost, you don't make a deal with God, because I'm not sure that's the way that
you don't make a
it
deal.
works, but
it wasn't a deal.
You
it wasn't a
committed.
bargain. It was just, God, there's nothing else I can do right here. This is
Completely submitted.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change things I can, the wisdom to know the difference. At that moment, he gave me the serenity to say, you know what, big boy, you can't do nothing with your life. It was evident. You could look at my life, everything I had done, every decision I'd made, I'd messed everything up on my own. And when I just finally Lord, I give it all to you. Yeah.
What'd that walk look like from there on?
I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you I'm some kind of guru, genius, know-all, end-all beekeeper, because I ain't. I know what a worker looks like. I know what a drone looks like. I know what a queen looks like. I do real, just basic, common sense beekeeping style, simple, cut cells. But I get my joy from working them. I get a peace.
Yeah.
It's a peace that passes all understanding, is the best way to understand.
That's a great way to put it. Those that know that know that. And if you're not understanding where Tim's coming from on that, I really hope that some point in your beekeeping journey that you do, because there's something very unique. You raise a lot of animals here. You've been around a lot of animals.
Oh, sure.
When animal husbandry is it's a privilege to be a steward of the land, to participate in that circle of life. But there's something that I don't understand about how unique and how special the bees actually are.
Oh, yeah.
And what that actually does for us.
I know. We was talking about everything's on vibrations. We vibrate with one another like a guitar. I may be sitting here and have a guitar in my lap. You may have a banjo in yours, and he may have a bass in his, but we all hit that G, and they all resonate at that same frequency.
Uh-huh.
There's something about that buzz, the frequency, the buzz of the bees. It's healing. It's healing. I don't know, man. Maybe my cheese slipped off my cracker. I don't know, but I find peace in it. And if I went crazy out in the bee yard and I just don't realize it, I'm happy y'all don't tell me I'm crazy.
Well, we do have footage of us out in the bee yard exchanging bee sting therapy for arthritis. So there is something not normal about
that's
us.
true. It's true. It's like, here, I'll sting you and you sting me next. Okay.
Right.
You go first.
Right.
Okay.
Right. We can joke around about that, but it helps. I'm sitting here, and we're thinking, and we're down here, and how do you actually say your city?
Culleoka.
We're in Culleoka, Tennessee. We just came down
Cherokee
from
word
Ohio.
for Sweetwater.
Sweetwater. The earth is coming alive. Everything is springing up and turning spring green.
Oh, yeah.
The birds are on full alert. The spring peepers are out. The animals are getting that first fresh bite of that extremely nutritious early grass. Everything feels vibrant and alive. It's a real treat to come down and be in this part of the country at this time of the year, and then to also get right in the hives there with you and see and be a part of what it is that is so special to you.
This is. I like to, I hunt, I fish, I trap, I garden, I can. I live the life pretty much somebody did 100 years ago, but the early, not the early, but the middle of spring, like right now. This is my favorite time of the year. The bees are going and everything's waking up. We went today and worked them hives right in the shadow of a dogwood opening up, and the red buds are blooming. The earth's waking up.
The earth is waking up, and I think what would you say to folks that are at that point where they need an awakening? They're at that point where they need to wake up. They're at that point to where they feel like what they're doing isn't working. They feel like they're rolling themselves over just to take that one breath.
The best advice that I could give somebody that, well, whether it's losing weight, getting into beekeeping, whatever, living a healthier life, whatever. There's a big yellow thing right yonder over your shoulder. You go out and look at that thing every day. The big yellow sun. We need that. Too much time, and I'm speaking for myself. Too many hours a day are spent flipping channels, scrolling my Facebook followers, Instagram. What was Kim Kardashian having on her toast? Yes, who cares? You know what I mean? That's not real life. People walk around with this materialistic thing of, I've got to have this, and I'm just not going to be happy unless I have that. Now let me tell you something. Take it from somebody. I did. I had a success. I was pretty successful at what I was doing. I was making I had a career. I was chasing dollar bills and I was miserable. The more you make, the more miserable you are.
Yeah.
Because it's never enough, is it? It's never enough. No. That young man we went to see today, I helped him with his beehives. He's kind of tapped me to be his mentor, and I try to show him what little bit I know. Try to, help him treat his hives and show him what he's looking at. And that's what we need to be doing, is sharing information, working together as a community to grow, not only the bees, but food in general. That young man trades out beekeeping lessons. Like, he's for us going over there today, going through his hives, he's gonna fix me up a meat rabbit. All I gotta do is get it out and cook it. That's what real life is about, is the healthy foods that you eat. And so I barter. I do a lot of bartering. Just whatever we can do. I've traded for cheese. I got an Amish or a Mennonite buddy. His wife, she made me a big old block of mozzarella cheese the other day, homemade, because I was helping her husband learn about bees. That's what we're supposed to be, is a blessing to people. It's more to life than money. It is, and I had to cripple myself chasing dollar bills to figure out there's more life than money.
I don't know that I think there are shortcuts to finding success, but I don't believe that there are shortcuts to being successful. And how we define successful is different for everybody, but I think you and I resonate with a lot of the same ideas, to where a successful life is a life that we're living where we have a purpose.
Right.
It's a life that
purpose-driven life.
It's a life that the result of the things that we do are joy and happiness. We're not setting out to do the things for joy and happiness to be the reward. They're just the repercussion.
Exactly.
They're the consequence of living life a certain way.
Right.
And I don't know. It's when I talk to a lot of folks about this, it seems like there has been a life-changing event that has to happen for folks to get to that point.
A dark night of the soul.
Some folks are where I had a very bad car accident that I should not have walked away from. Yeah. And walking away from that car accident is what changed my life. Right. We came out of there and decided that we're going to get our family out of the city, move out to the land, and get back to the land, get back to what is real, what is true, and what brings joy and happiness. And hearing your story, I think it confirms what I keep hearing from folks that have figured that out. Now, I don't have the answers.
Yeah.
I don't have your answer. I don't have anyone who's listening answer. I don't even know that I have the answer for me, but right now it feels like this is where we should be heading with our life, with our family, is getting back to the things that are true, getting back to the things that actually make a difference, but also being that lighthouse for somebody else.
Exactly.
Reaching down and helping somebody else out too when we can, because it's not just about us finding our path and our individual journeys. For me, at least, a lot of that is to help folks when we can.
Right.
And it's an honor, Tim, for me to sit here with you today to learn more about your story and who you are, because you are that kind of person that helps, that reaches out, that mentors, that puts time into people, because it's more important to chase putting time in people than it is chasing dollar bills.
It is.
The return on that investment is literally infinite.
Right. That's it. It's more life than, what you drive, what positions you own. How do you sleep at night? That's the question.
That's the metric we should look at.
Yes, sir. That's what true happiness should be measured on. How you feel when ain't nobody else around. Can you lay in the bed at night and you all good, or do you have things that eat at you? I ain't got nothing that eats me no more. I thank God for that. He delivered me from the things that used to eat me up so bad that I had this depression and gained all this weight from. He delivered me from it. Things that used to really, really bother me, and to the point of crippling depression. And it was just like, if you have any hatred, bitterness in your heart towards anybody, I don't care who it is. A little thing that I'm telling you earlier today, we talk, give us, Lord, our daily bread. Give us this day our daily bread. Okay, you got to eat. Forgive us our trespasses, because I've sinned. I've done things wrong, Lord. Forgive us our trespasses as we, not you, Lord, but as we forgive those that trespass against us. So if I want that same forgiveness from, say, like I said, I'm Christian. I don't put a denomination on it like a lot of people do, because I'm Christian. We ain't called to be Baptist or Church of Christ or Lutheran or Methodist or Pentecost or Apostolic. We ain't called to be that. We called to be Christ-like. That's what we're called to be like. Compassionate, helpful to your neighbors. Do good to those. Fear God, keep His commandments. Love your neighbors, you love yourself. Let God sort out the rest.
The beautiful thing about that, Tim, is that completely transcends one doctrine, that completely transcends one method, that completely transcends a single way of thinking. And what I find really interesting is the more beekeepers that I sit down and talk with, the more I learn about how folks are in tune spiritually.
Yeah.
And that's different, I think, for all of us. But I think what's also interesting is the same type of folks that can appreciate the individual or the diversity and our approaches spiritually. It's the same kind of person that can appreciate the diversity and how we keep bees, how we raise a family,
right? Things
like that. But there's an undeniable thread that is connecting so many folks together. I really I've enjoyed this trip that we've done to kind of travel around and get to meet a lot of great folks and sit down and hear their story, learn more about them, get inside of the mind of the beekeeper. But what I also find really valuable is getting inside the heart of the beekeeper and find out how you tick and why. A lot of folks are getting into beekeeping. They don't know why they want to keep bees.
Yeah. No idea, but they just
don't know. Do I want to have bees? Do I want to have these hives because I want to make honey? I want to make bees. I don't think that you necessarily have to figure that out or know that, because I really do feel like some folks are called to be keepers.
Oh, yeah. I believe Lord called me to do it. I do. I believe that's why He gave me the strength to do it. He gave me the strength to get up, lose the weight, be a beekeeper.
If He gave you the strength to do that, then the rest follows, and,
Oh, yeah.
and it falls right in place where it needs to go. And I think that's the beautiful thing about this journey and this path of beekeeping. It's really easy to get caught up on now I got to have 7 hives or 70 or 700 or 7,000, and we can chase these new metrics of success just like we're chasing dollar bills. We can literally trade
dollar
one
bills
rat
for
race
hives. That's it.
for another, and
That's it.
that comes back to us.
That's it.
But if we can learn to be happy and content, find joy and happiness in what it is that we're doing in this moment, because if we can't find it here in this moment, breaking news, we're not going to find it if we quadruple our bee yard.
That's it. These people freaking out over the past year, they figured out we're all gonna die. You're just now getting that, huh? Just
every day we're getting just a little bit closer.
Every day we're one day closer to a hole. Now what you do, you gotta make your peace with God about it. You gotta make your peace with God about it. I have. So every day I get up and I get to go look in a beehive, because I only prayed, Lord, let me go one more time. One more time. So anytime I go afterwards, that's like an extra cherry on top. That's the way I look at it. I only asked for one more time. Lord, let me go one more time in these beehives. He's let me have several hives. Go around, meet some new people. Talk about the bees. Give me my exercise. That's how between it and my garden, that's how I do my exercise. Lifting, and I do it until I hurt so bad I can't do it in the morning. I'll sit down, and then the next day, all right, let's get up and go.
You've got your purpose. You've got the drive to do it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good reminder that the darkest hour is just before dawn.
Right.
You got to hang in there. It reminds me of sitting down and talking with Bob Benny too. He sums up beekeeping in one word.
Work.
Tenacity.
Tenacity. Oh, okay. I like it too.
That's you definitely getting to know you have a tenacious spirit where you're not going to give up. You won't be beat. And even at times where I'm sure it felt like here I am, and I'm laying in this bed and I can't breathe, and it feels like it's because of me. It's because of the choices that I've made. It's because of this.
It was the choices I made. It was. I did. Nobody put me in that bed. And that's a hard thing most people do. And I don't care if you're in financial debt. I don't care if you're in a bad marriage. I don't care what you're in. George Jones said it best. We live and we die with the choices we make. Sometimes we get a chance to rectify it. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we pay the ultimate price for our stupidity. I praise God. He gave me strength to get up before he called me home to say, you know what? You didn't trust me in the beginning, and this is what happened to you. When we try to paint our life with the shades and shadows that we feel like and the colors that we want and that we think that we need on the tapestry of our soul and our life, it's not God's plan. It's our plan. And you know what it said? The best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. I never thought of myself that I'd get crippled and couldn't work. I never thought, I thought I was going to be a high-rolling pipe fitter the rest of my life and retire. That ain't what the Lord had for me. The Lord had me to be a beekeeper and a gardener. And so here I am. That's what I do.
Some of us have been in a position to where things could have went the other way.
Right.
And we would have given everything to wake up one more morning and to walk on our own feet one more time.
I'm not living on borrowed time. I ain't going to say that. I'm living on God's time. When he's ready to call me home, he's going to call me home. I have faith in that. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I know who holds it, and that's all I need to know. I'm like I said, I'm not some high-rolling beekeeper that knows all the fancy words, and, Apis mellifera, and today we'll be discussing the mating habits of the Apis mellifera.
I wonder how many of the ones that pretend to know actually know, and what they do know, I don't know that it's the things that you really do know or want to know. I know if you know. Tim, I do know that I've enjoyed today, and you taking us around, showing us the bee yards, getting into the bees, getting some local bee sting therapy to the arthritis, and also to my third eye. We've had a blast. Jake and I both. Jake's run the cameras, and we've enjoyed you showing us around. We had a great lunch. I've enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better too, and to learn more about your story on who Tim is, what's in the mind of the beekeeper, what's in your heart. And I just want to thank you for sharing your story with folks.
I'm
it's
glad
important.
Y'all came down, brother. Really
Honesty is something that escapes a lot of folks, but being able to own your reality and your situation and share that with folks, whether it's literally being on death's doorstep or your bees on death's doorstep, I think is important for all of us to embrace and understand.
That debt, being that close to it. Today when we was eating lunch, I got after your boy Jake over here, and I said, you find the one thing. It don't have to be beekeeping. It don't have to be whatever. You find the one thing that brings the most joy to your life, and you pursue it with all your might. You chase happy. Don't chase dollar bills. Chase happiness. Because if you chase happiness, the dollar bills will show up eventually. But you'll be happy. If you chase dollars, there's no guarantee you'll be happy. You know, you can't serve two masters.
Yeah.
You can either love one and hate the other, or despise one and cling to the other. I choose not to worship money no more. I choose not to chase after the dollar bills. It's more of a simple life. Some people may say it's too simple. I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of YouTube videos.
Well, I'm glad you watch our YouTube
I watch
videos.
One or two anyway, you know. You and that, what's that? I gotta say, those pictures, like seeing you stand next to Cayman, I was expecting you to be
No,
about 7'9",
tell me you didn't go to a
dude.
short joke. I did
not do a short joke. I was
Oh.
expecting you to be 7'9". That's for the
I was going to
Alabama
get him a phone
jokes,
book.
Cayman.
I was going to get him a phone book to stand on, but he just gave me that look like he intentionally buried all the phone books. He just wasn't. But you know what? He's got a truck. He's that beautiful truck of his.
Big red of his.
Big Red is bigger than any truck that I've ever had or ever had. So Cayman, if you're lilistening, buddy, you
We
got
have
me
truck
beat.
envy.
Yeah, we do.
Truck. It's a real thing, dude. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Well, we've had an exciting adventure the last couple of days. We went down to see Cayman Reynolds, learn more about him, what's on his mind, what's in his heart. We dodged a few tornadoes along the drive down, and today the final day of the trip. You know, as we start to head back to Ohio, I can't help but have a very thankful and grateful heart for the folks that are coming into our life, that are collaborating with us. Not just with the YouTube channels, but we're collaborating with each other in a deep and meaningful friendship,
Right.
Kind of a way. And those are things that can't be faked,
Right.
that go way outside of
Money
liking and
can't buy that
subscribing
either.
to somebody.
Money can't buy that.
Money
either.
can't buy that. No.
I just,
And it's I just want to thank you, Tim, for taking the time today to open up, show us your place.
Well, I appreciate y'all coming out.
So as always, be the lighthouse.
Be original.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Hey, can you help us out? Hit like, subscribe, share with all your friends, and be sure to check these great videos out too.